Hey, my name's Paul. I'm the education coordinator here at Film Streams in Omaha, Nebraska. This video is a part of Film Streams' series of educational videos that are dedicated to looking at elements in film and film theory. My goal here is to just hang out and talk about film, so I hope that sounds cool.
To enter in a theater and to see that in the screen there are images that I shoot. That was my dream.
From the very beginning of his filmmaking career, Almodóvar has been a bit of a rebel, and this rebellion probably comes from the fact that he began making films during a transitional point in Spanish history known as La Transición. This is the transition in Spain from the Franco regime into democracy, and it took place following the death of Franco in 1975 and lasted roughly into the early 80s. During this time, there was an emerging art movement known as La Movida. This is a counterculture kind of explosion in Madrid of punk and synth pop influences in music, art, literature, and filmmaking. Almodóvar is a key figure in this movement, and we can definitely see this kind of wild, more is more punk celebration in his early films, and arguably throughout the rest of his career as well. So I wasn't super sure how to approach talking about the filmmaking of Almodóvar. I mean, this dude has made more than like 20 films over the last 40 years, and I can't holistically define Almodóvar's style in like a concise 5-minute video. I'm only human. But what I will firmly say is that a conversation about Almodóvar cannot truly exist without mentioning the filmmaker's striking, sometimes incredibly loud, but always pretty chic visual style. So, let's not make this harder than it has to be. Why don't we just explore all those super duper cool visuals that make up the look of an Almodóvar film? Is this like the most scholarly way to approach Almodóvar's work? Probably not, but it is pretty fun. Bright saturated colors are very Almodóvar, and in my opinion, two colors really reign supreme in Almodóvar's cinematic kingdom. You're gonna see a lot of tomato red. It's passionate, it's fiery, it's sexy, but also a little playful. This color oftentimes mirrors the sometimes zany, slapdash comedic elements in an Almodóvar film. But at the same time, it does have an ability to offer a serious tone too, maybe even a little bit of a danger. You're also going to see a lot of sky blue, and perhaps this color encourages viewers to reminisce or to get lost in thought, as if you were gazing into the beautiful, cloudless Spanish sky. Almodóvar's films oftentimes visits his own personal experiences throughout his life, and the use of this sky blue might suggest a contemplative or reflective mood. This color might invite the viewer to ease into the narrative that Almodóvar is creating.
¿El Chanel este es auténtico? No, mujer, ¿cómo ya gastarme medio millón en un Chanel auténtico con la de hambre que hay en el mundo?
Beauty and fashion are not foreign to an Almodóvar film, and what these characters wear or how they look are oftentimes very indistinguishable from the runways of Paris or Milan. Miu Miu, Prada, Gaultier, Dior, even Chanel, all seamlessly exist within an Almodóvar film. They belong there. Fashion and makeup in Almodóvar's films are often very playful, they're a little cheeky, they might be even a little bit irreverent. For example, in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, Candela's earrings are a pair of like tiny espresso makers, and on their own they're fun and they're kitschy. However, Almodóvar goes a little bit further than that. They're not just weird earrings for the sake of weird, cute earrings. Throughout the movie, Candela is instructed to make coffee, which, due to her frayed nerves, she fails to accomplish, but even despite her eccentric earring choice. And I don't know, I think that's pretty funny.
We have an incredible relationship. It's like family to me.
I think another very clear visual to an Almodóvar film is his repeated use of certain actors. These are Almodóvar's muses. So, who are these muses? Well, there's a bunch of them, and they're usually women, but I think the main three are Antonio Banderas, Penelope Cruz, and Rosy de Palma.
You can't sit with us!
These three actors have become central to Almodóvar's filmmaking throughout his career, and I think Almodóvar really enjoys experimenting with beauty in his films, and that probably feels pretty important to him. And let's be honest, besides being brilliant actors, Cruz and Banderas are beautiful people. And I'm sure as a director, it's a lot of fun to cast beautiful people. However, I think the real pinnacle of Almodovarian beauty is Rosy de Palma. Rosy de Palma is perfect for an Almodóvar film. De Palma is often referred to as Dama Picasso or Lady Picasso due to her asymmetrical features and kind of intense beauty. And I think De Palma's beauty, which definitely pushes the boundaries of conventional beauty standards, is exactly why she is such an Almodóvar girl. She's compelling, she's cool, she's bold, and she's different. And all these things are synonymous with the films that Almodóvar creates. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about might just be easier if I showed you. So here we go. Almodóvar is a fan of theatrics. He loves to include things in his work like lip sync numbers, live vocals, dramatic monologues. A film within a film, or a film that follows the production of a film or a play, are pretty popular narratives in Almodóvar's filmmaking. He's also pretty frequently referencing his own work in his films. We see this all the time. It's almost like he's subtly breaking the fourth wall, but you have to be pretty quick to catch it, but when you do, it's kind of a treat. I think this is Almodóvar just being kind of playful and self-referential, but I also think that including his past and future work in his films really highlights the artifice of what Almodóvar is creating. This isn't hyper-realism, this is art that's being created to explore or celebrate. And I think it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be impactful and interesting, and maybe even a little bit bizarre. So I know that this video is mostly just about the cool visual elements of Almodóvar's filmmaking, and honestly that happened because I was scared of this director's incredible body of work. Honestly, it was truly a daunting task to kind of look at the totality of this man's genius and think to myself, like, no big deal, I can make this into a short video. No. So I know there's much more to Almodóvar's films than just the things that I talked about in this video. And maybe the really important things, the things that make this director so good and his films so important, are things that I could never even tell you. They're things that you have to figure out or feel for yourself. It's like the work that you have to do on your own or whatever. Yeah.